Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Although I'm from the Midwest and haven't acclimated yet to the humidity, but in the next few days, hopefully I will. I took a little different approach, in what I wanted to share with you today and more from the perspective of what should you be looking for from a carrier when you go out to look for your professional liability insurance. But let me tell you a little bit about Zurich first. We are a global insurance company, the third or fourth largest insurance company in the world. I'm part of our North American division, and in North America, we also are probably the third or fourth largest property casualty company. One of the more financially stable companies also, which is something that all of you should be looking for in any carrier that you're going to select for your professional liability carrier, because your claims on the professional claims, with the tail that's available, that's out there, it could take 4 or 5 years before some of this stuff comes to resolution. And some of you who have hair color like mine probably have been through some of those situations where the carrier just isn't around anymore. And who do you think's left holding the bag? So that's probably the first thing I think you need to look at is, how do you do it? There's a number of rating organizations out there. AM Best is one of them, Standard & Poor's, Moody's. But I think probably even one of the things you should look at is how long has your carrier been involved in writing architects and engineers professional liability. There's a lot of companies that get involved and they're there for 2 or 3 or 4 years and then they go away. And it's very simple for a company to start up a new A&E program. I got a call yesterday from somebody, a headhunter out of the blue, asking me if I'd like to come and start up a program. Well, since I've been with Zurich for 30 years, I kind of say, no, I don't think this is the right time to do it. We've been in the business of writing architects and engineers since 1990. And so we have a lot of knowledge, like the Schindler program. Well, I'm not as old as Wayne, but so. But we use that in terms of developing our underwriting. Another thing you should be looking for from your carrier is how do they make your practice better? What kind of risk management services are they doing for you? Do they do contract reviews? Do they have a contract guide for you to look at? So you can look at those indemnification provisions and say, okay, what's the good wordings? Why won't I indemnify somebody for all claims that may happen? Those kinds of things. Do they provide you information through newsletters and things like that? So you know what's kind of going on in the marketplace. And it's changing every day and changing very quickly. Delivery methodologies, things like that. Especially probably not so much for the smaller firms, but it will trickle down for you, when those things start to happen, like the new IPD delivery methodologies and things like that. These are the kinds of things that scare us tremendously. Should also look and see is there a contract review service and how quickly can they do this for you? Because when you're out there and you got a potential project that you'd like to do, you'd like to get this inked as quickly as possible. So risk management is extremely important. International, working for an international company for all this time, although we probably weren't the best of international companies, we're developing those kinds of programs as we cross the borders. Canada is an international company. Mexico is, anywhere outside of the U.S. And I'm sure what's going to happen, if it hasn't happened already, you'll start to get some opportunities to do some international work. And it's a different ballgame. So you need a carrier that has that kind of expertise. And lastly is claims. How do they handle their claims? How does your carrier handle their claims? Is it one location? Is it throughout the country? What do their claims representatives look like? Are they attorneys? Are they, experienced claims people? Is this just their GL claims examiners that really have no clue in terms of what's going on in your professional claim? Make sure, and you can ask these questions to your broker or even to the companies themselves. If it's a startup company, they may not even have a claims staff. So God forbid if you're one of the first claims that comes through the door. So these are just a few items that I think that each and every one of you should carry through when you're looking for your professional liability insurance. So that's all I have.